Hey, what is up guys, and welcome back to the channel. So the other day I woke up to a kind donation by a guy called Ollie Ironsides with a little tuning set up for me to go ahead and try out. He said it was one of his hidden favourites, and I don't think I've ever seen this anyway. So a big shout out to him and a big thank you again for your generous donation. All my donation links and channel memberships are in the descriptions, so feel free to join them. It will give you priority over other builds, and thank you so much for everyone who gives me support. So the car we're going to be using is the Renault Megane Trophy 2011. This is a absolutely incredible car. Now, it's actually one of the more meta ones for Group 4 online sometimes. It totally depends on the circuit. However, when it's up there, it's usually very, very dominant. And I believe it's also very prominent in GT Sport as well, in the Group 4 category. So it is nice to kind of be able to, get this car and give it a good bit of use, I guess. So yeah, go ahead and purchase it for 350,000 credits. So a lot of people ask me in my videos, where do I get my liveries from? Well, I'm going to start crediting, creators that I use their liveries in the video. This one's definitely going in the liveries of the week video because I absolutely love this. It looks almost official. If you want to get featured in that, be sure just to put my channel name in the tags of your liveries. That way I can find you easier, and I will feature some of you guys, hopefully every week when I can get it back on track. So the creator who made this one is Ghost Rider 1072. So go give him a follow, give him some love, tell him I sent you. And yeah, big shout out to him for this absolutely awesome livery. So what we're aiming for here is a 700 pp rating. Obviously, I've got mine to 699.96. And so it's kind of obvious where we're going to run this. We're going to run it at home in Le Mans. So you want to make sure you got the racing hards and the inters and the heavy wets. Body height adjustment at the front, it's 56, and at the rear it is also 56. Anti-roll bar, it's 4 at the front and 4 at the rear. Dampening ratio compression, it's 25 and 30. Dampening ratio expansion is 38 at the front and 40 at the rear. Onto natural frequency next, and that is 2.90 at the front. And then at the rear it's 3.00. Negative camber angle is 3.0 and 3.0. And then the toe angle is outwards at 0.16 at the front and inwards 0.10 at the rear. So onto the differential, it's going to be 5, 25 and 5. Then you want to make sure you've got the fully customizable racing transmission. Set that to 300. You do not need to do individual gears. And make sure you've got your downforce at the front at 150 and 300 at the rear. High RPM turbocharger because it just gave me a bit of extra PP. And exhaust manifold, you want racing. Nothing else needs to be changed. Feel free to pause at any moment. So this is for those of you that aren't probably new to the game or have never ran this event or don't even know it exists. I believe it's not part of the cafe menus. It's at Le Mans in Europe. So just click on that nice little one there, and it's the 700 pp event. Most of you will know that, however, there's a bunch of new players recently, so just go ahead and enter that. Now, when you begin, I recommend keeping it at fuel mix 1 for the first couple of laps. You basically want to anticipate rain. Now, I got a dry run here right up until the end, so I had a very, very weird kind of event. Usually it never really happens like this, so it was kind of like all reversed. But I would, if I were you, just anticipate the rain. So keep it on fuel mix 1 and basically power up through the grid. The car's very controllable, even if it kind of likes to spin up its tyres. It's very, very quick, and obviously we are running like as little downforce as possible, really, because we are at Le Mans. So it's mostly to basically tackle the more straight sections, and that is where you're going to make most of your time up. So we're going to take advantage of that, and you're going to find out just how fast this car is in a straight line. Some more general tips, most of you know this. You're only grinding money, so set it on easy. There's no point in a challenge. I've never understood why people do that. Personally, I just want to make sure all my bases are covered, and I've got AI at the easiest possible difficulty, just in case I make any kind of errors or anything along the way. There's no way I kind of want to waste 25 minutes of my life. Another thing when it comes to clean race bonus, I think this is kind of well known now. At least I know I say it enough. The only way you can lose it is not by going off the track, not by bumping the AI. It is purely if you overtake under yellow flag conditions. I've only ever seen it kind of when the AI gets stuck out in the rain. Most of the time though, you'll never really see it, so you can kind of ignore that. But you know, just be on the safe side and just keep your eye out for the yellow flag. So as you can see already, we are basically up to the front three. So it's very quick time that we've made up here, and within the next corner or so, we're basically just going to get past them all. Just a bit of throttle control through the corner, and then we're going to power out, you know, nice and nice and sideways as we get onto the back of the Dodge Viper, and we're going to take the lead and never have to worry about the AI again for the rest of the race. Thank God, bye. So yeah, let's take you into the rest of the strategy. So I 100% recommend on lap 2 to basically just stop monitoring the weather. You never seem to get rain on lap 1, so there it's all about kind of seeing where the car's at with fuel and such. So when you're running fuel mix 1, you will get around about 2 laps of fuel. But yeah, when it comes to lap 2, just monitor the weather situation, because it does kind of, I guess, rely on a bit of luck. I keep getting very lucky with dry runs for some reason. Don't know why that's happening, but you know, hey ho, it's not going to be an entirely dry run here. We are going to have to kind of change up our strategy at the end, but that kind of you know goes and shows you that yeah, it's kind of mixed up how you do it. As you can see, I'm just taking a penalty now, and that will not affect the clean race bonus. So end of lap 2, I've still got no rain coming, so I'm just going to box, and I'm going to kind of change up my strategy, and I'm basically going to put the car at fuel mix 6 on the exit. When it comes to tyres, at the minute, yes, they're kind of starting to wear already, but I feel like these can go as long as I really need them to. There's no need to change the tyres. The main thing you want to do is just fill the car to full, if that's not obvious enough, because we're still early on. But yeah, just fill the car up to full. We're only about just less than 10 minutes into this event, and we'll get underway and kind of change up our strategy for the long run. So you're going to see them just do the little pit stop. They're going to do all the, you know, good stuff, I guess. But it's very boring while you just sat there waiting. For some reason, Le Mans takes an absolute, you know, time and a half to basically come along to your pit box. But they're not going to change the tyres. They're going to, you know, chuck the fuel in, and away we go. So pit stop done. We are going to have to pit again, sadly. But that's kind of due to weather conditions more than anything. As you can see, I've got the car at fuel mix 6. I'm now going to go into a more kind of toned down, longer run. So, you know, kind of change up your strategy and follow that if you're on a dry run at this point. So I'm over halfway through lap 3 at this point. So I've just done my pit stop, and I was kind of cruising around, leaving the AI for dust. And obviously I've took my pit stop early compared to them. And I start seeing rain come in, and I'm thinking, right, that's looking like it could possibly hit me. Maybe they're not the first bit, but there's probably a big sort of weather formation behind it, and it's probably going to catch me. It usually does rain between lap 2 and 3. However, it did miss me. So thankfully I've kind of got away with that. The AI are now taking their first bunch of pit stops, and it's an absolute ton of them. So at this point, you're just going to stretch your legs. Obviously, I've still got my nice dry run, so I'm on, you know, pretty much the optimum strategy here, and no rain in sight, apart from a teensy little bit at the bottom. However, that's looking like it's just going to kind of just go away and miss me. So I'm basically just getting my head down and continuing my more sort of endurance run for these next few laps. However, after all that rain missed me, I can see on lap 5, as we go onto it, that there is a massive weather formation of rain coming. And at first I'm thinking, right, it's quite broken up. So a lot of the time, if the weather or the rain is broken up like that, you can get away with it. However, little did I know, there was an absolute just blue sea on its way to come and get me. So yeah, I'll show you that now. So as you can see, it kind of was broken up at first, and there was a few gaps in it. However, it's looking like this is here to stay. So at this point, what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn the engine up and try and get to the end of lap 5 as fast as I can, because I know that rain's going to hit me pretty soon. Like, obviously it's already started hitting me, but I know the kind of heavy parts are going to really start kicking in around about another minute or so. So I'm just trying to get a shift on and get myself back to the pits to kind of get some wet weather tyres on. Currently I'm actually unsure what I'm going to change to. As you can see, the little bar's starting to fill up to inter level already. At this point, the track is still inters, but it's really starting to take away the grip from the car. Obviously we're on hard compound tyre that we've been using since the beginning. So, you know, the grip's pretty much just not there for me at this point, as I'm sort of sliding myself around, having a whole heap of fun. However, it's going to kind of bite me a little bit later on. As you can see, the traction is just really struggling to get the power down. At this point, I would recommend like sort of turning down the fuel mix. This will stop the car wheel spinning as much. As we finally crawl along to the pits with a 4-minute 30 odd lap at this point. So yeah, as you can see, it's just a whole sea of blue on the weather radar. So at this point I make the call and I'm sort of like, well, what do I go on? Do I go on inters? Do I go on wets? I know as soon as that rainstorm stops, it's going to dry out pretty quick. So maybe I could have got away with inters. However, I'm thinking, well, the AI is going to be sort of stuck spinning around, and that's quite often what they'll do. If they get caught out, they're just, you know, pointless. They sort of get stuck around, spin around everywhere, and they end up like a whole minute or so extra behind you. As you can see, my gap at the minute is going up, even though I'm sat in the pits. So they must be really struggling at this point, because they was, I believe, like towards the start of the lap when the rain really came in. So I'm quite well off here. I managed to get in, even though I've kind of crawled in the pits. And I've actually put the heavy wets on. I've kind of made that call that it's going to be very wet. And all I need to do is like one more lap. So the wets are going to be a bit, you know, not great at first. They're going to really lack grip, as it's still saying it's inters weather. However, the heavy rain did hit some parts of the track, so I know more than likely the heavy wets are going to be best for this. And I'm just going to keep my fuel mix sort of toned down a little bit, just to kind of help me with, you know, spinning them tires up as we basically crawl around. However, when the rain stops, which you can see here, it's just about to leave, the track will dry up in just pretty much no time. So towards the end, it's going to be very, you know, dry in comparison. Once the, you know, like I said, the rain stops, it's going to, you know, pretty much get down to inters level. Not quite dry, but down to inters level very, very fast. However, these heavy wets, you know, they're doing a good enough job, and I'm actually going to turn the engine up just to kind of sprint to the end as the track dries out. As we go around the last few corners, I'm going to start showing off a little bit too much and spin the car around. So I thought I'd just keep that in there because I just thought it was funny. But we're going to manage to not slide across the line and have to start another lap. We're just going to spin it around, and then we're basically going to play a waiting game. As you can see, we've got like a 3-minute gap on everyone out, so there's plenty of time left over. We're just going to park it there and let the timer sort of count down. So here you go. We're going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're just going to rev it up and do a big wheel spin and show off a little bit and take yourself across the line in first place. So yeah, nice and easy. We even got to do a stop and wait, which is always the best way to do it. We did it in a 30-minute 3-second 0.824 with a fastest lap of 4:13.606. The car's definitely got potential in the dry to do about a 4-minute 3 to 4-minute 5 average. Especially if you're running that fuel mix 1, there's no reason why you can't kind of hit those lap times, and that is very, very quick around Le Mans. So it's 825k in pretty much no time. You know, super easy money. There's no reason why you shouldn't run Le Mans, and I can kind of see why a lot of people send me Le Mans videos and setups, because a bunch of cars can be used here. Now, some are better than others. This Megane I would definitely put on the level of something like the Silvia, the Bugatti, the Red Bull Junior that we've all covered. It's absolutely incredible. So thank you so much for your, you know, your kind donation and giving me something new and fresh to use. So like I said at the start of the video, channel memberships are up. This will give you kind of priority in the comments and basically allow you to access sort of member-only posts and obviously get your build featured, you know, faster than people who aren't members. If you want to donate, there's donation links. So thank you so much for the massive support you give. Don't forget to like and comment and subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you all in the next one. Take care, guys. Peace.